Alrighty, guys, simple question for us to contemplate today. Will Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, will he be appearing in Avengers Doomsday? So we had the original cast announcement. We talked about that a couple months ago at this point, a few months ago, where they did all the chairs, and that was controversial because people were like, why did I wait this entire day just to see people's names on chairs? I thought it was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. Doesn't matter. We got the announcement. But what we also talked about with that original cast announcement was the fact that really less about the people that were there, because yes, it was exciting to see Patrick Stewart's name. It was very exciting to see Ian McKellen's name. It was very exciting to see James Marsden and all the Thunderbolts in there as well, of course. But one of the things we talked about really that stood out was the fact that there were a lot of names missing, not just, multiversal cameos, right? Not just Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, which I just don't think they would have revealed at that point, but also people like Brie Larson, people like Mark Ruffalo, Benedict Wong, Benedict Cumberbatch. A lot of people that we all had thought would be in Avengers Doomsday were not on that list. Another name that we kind of thought would be in Doomsday, would be in Avengers Doomsday, was Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine probably comes as a package deal with him, but still, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool just seems like he's not doing Deadpool movies anymore, we don't think, but he's going to be probably popping up here and there in these MCU films, which I think is a very perfect way to use that character. And, his name didn't pop up. There have been a lot of rumors recently, though, in the past few days about the fact that maybe they're going to be doing a Part 2 announcement in the coming days and weeks, perhaps just as a way to increase excitement and maintain that publicity momentum. Who knows? By the time this segment even comes out, by the time I'm recording this, but, there might already be another cast announcement. So this might all be a moot point. At any rate, we've just gotten a post from Ryan Reynolds on his Instagram page that might indicate the fact that he is, in fact, going to be in Avengers Doomsday, which is interesting. Now, I'm not always somebody who wants to read into every single social media post. I mean, we talked about when, for example, Elodie Young posted something with a devil emoji, and she was like, cut and cut, which is a very classic film slogan when you're done with a take. And people were like, could she be in Daredevil? And really, I think we use that segment more so as a springboard for just the discussion of whether or not it makes sense for her character, Elektra, to appear in Daredevil Born Again, and not really to dissect every single possibility and probability of Elektra appearing in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So that's how I want to approach this segment, because Ryan Reynolds posted a picture on his Instagram, unprompted, it seems like, so that's something interesting, of an Avengers symbol with the Avenger, or the A of the Anarchy symbol, I believe, on top of it, which is something that he had been doing during Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that they had made hats even. I think Kevin Feige even worn one where they had the Avengers logo, and then they had that Anarchy A on top of it, which is just a little tongue-in-cheek nod to Deadpool's irreverence, right? Of Deadpool wanting to be on the Avengers, but probably not being accepted on the Avengers. And that's all well and good, right? So the question really becomes, why does he post it now? Maybe he was bored. Maybe he was like, hey, publicists, I'm bored. Can I just do this? And they were like, yeah, sure, whatever. Could it also be that he's on set in London for Avengers Doomsday? Also possible, right? So there are multiple possibilities. At the end of the day, do we think, just regardless of this post, right? Irrespective of this post, do we think that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is going to be in Avengers Doomsday? I have a very hard time believing that he's not going to be, even if it's just for a few minutes at the end. I really do think, right? Because look, if it were a couple people who were missing from that Doomsday announcement, for example, when we were talking about Avengers Infinity War, right? It was like, oh, where's Jeremy Renner? Where's Paul Rudd? Turns out they were in other movies and they were being set up for Avengers Endgame. So it was like, okay, well, if they're not going to be in Avengers Infinity War, then fine, they'll be in Avengers Endgame. But that's not the case here. Captain Marvel, Hulk, right? Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, a bunch of really big characters who we all thought were going to be in Avengers Doomsday. At one point, Tom Holland, I don't know if he directly confirmed it or the trades did, but they said Spider-Man was going to be in Avengers Doomsday, which makes sense. Spider-Man is your biggest character right now. He is, bar none, your biggest character in the MCU now that Iron Man and Captain America are gone. And he has to be in Avengers Doomsday. So if it weren't for that fact, I would be like, yeah, it is what it is. Maybe, Ryan Reynolds is not going to be in this film. Because basically half the cast, it seems like, is missing from this announcement. Maybe they're doing a part 1, part 2 kind of filming arrangement. Because, to be fair, from all the set photos and set leaks and things like that, it seems like only the people who were in that original cast announcement have been filming thus far. So maybe everybody else has a much smaller role to play. Maybe. But still, it would be shocking to me if Ryan Reynolds were not in this movie, even just in a little bit of a cameo, maybe towards the end of the movie as they're setting up Battleworld, which we all assume that they're doing, maybe not though. But maybe we see, that Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, and Wolverine universe, which doesn't seem like it's the same one as the X-Men one that they're using. Because the X-Men one that they're using, it seems like for Avengers Doomsday is a little bit more comic booky, a little bit more comic book accurate. But maybe, we cut to that universe, the Deadpool and Wolverine universe, and it's like, hey, what's going on? And then they kind of get sucked into all of this with the TVA. Because Ryan Reynolds, remember, Deadpool has experience with the TVA, and Loki is going to show up, so the TVA is going to be a part of it somehow. So anyways, I don't know. All that to say, I don't know, but I would be shocked if Ryan Reynolds was not in Deadpool Wolverine, in Avengers Doomsday, and maybe this is a sign that he's on set filming his scenes right now. Who knows, guys? Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you guys think, based on this one image alone, that Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is going to be in Avengers Doomsday, or do you think maybe not buying it? Let me know in the comments down below.